Hey guys, and welcome to the next video in my Learn PuzzleScript series. But now you'll have some idea on how to do basic programming in PuzzleScript, and you will have made your first game. If you didn't do my previous tutorials, look in the description below and there's a link to the playlist, and I suggest you go and do them right now and then come back. Otherwise, as usual, you can follow along with the text version of the tutorial if you like at stuartspixelgames.com, go to tutorials, PuzzleScript, and then today we're going to be looking at creating objects. Makes it a little bit easier if you would like to copy and paste code. So head back to puzzlescript.net and click on Make a Game. Remember also that all of the links are down in the description below. And the first thing I want you to do is go to Load Example and click on Basic. And then we're just going to start from scratch with a new basic project. To understand objects in PuzzleScript, let's have a look at the code. Here we have a section called Objects. Then in this section we've got Background, Target, Wall, Player, and Crate. We can see there's a bunch of colors and numbers. Now, if we click on Level Editor, we can see at the top these are all the objects that we've been designing our levels with. And we talked about before how every game has a special object called background, and it has to be there. If you try taking it out, you'll get errors. So you have to have a background object. In this case, it's this grass. And anytime that we right-click in PuzzleScript, it uses it like our eraser. So let's talk about how an object's constructed. The first thing we have is the name. Every object has to have a name. Makes sense. Then we have the colors. We've got light green and green. And you can see how the text is actually highlighted in those different colors. And then these numbers represent how we use the colors to create an image. In programming, typically we start counting from 0 rather than 1. Light green is the first color, so we're going to refer to that as 0 anywhere in our picture. So everywhere we've got 0, we can see that those zeros are the same color as light green. Then we've also got just standard green. And everywhere we've got a 1 is just green. It's the same color because we go from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. So because it's the second color, it's now 1. Everything in PuzzleScript is a 5x5 sprite. You can see that when you hover over a tile in PuzzleScript, you can see this little square. You can actually count pixels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how we create and define an object in PuzzleScript. And anytime you want to make your own, just give it a name, define the colors, and then draw it. Unless, of course, you just want a solid color. If we just wanted light green, we'd actually delete all these numbers and the other color of green and just put the background like that. Then if we turn our level editor off, anytime that you make changes in the code, you have to press run again to see what happens. Now we can see that our background is just a solid light green. Doesn't look very nice, but if for some reason you wanted a solid color, that's the quickest, easiest way to do it. But let's undo that so that we've got the nice grass back. Now let's say, for instance, that we wanted to change the way this crate looks. I don't really like the way that it's transparent in the middle, so let's change that. Now these dots always refer to transparency. You can't change that. And that's why, because we've got these dots in the middle of the crate, that is transparent. So if we don't want the crate to be transparent, all we have to do is put a couple of zeros in the middle, and now it's going to be solid orange. So if we run that, we can see the solid orange. That doesn't look too nice either, so why don't we add some highlights in? If we put some ones around the edge, and try that, it just looks a little bit nicer. But I would like some shadow. So if we use brown maybe, and then put some little 2s around the edge. Whoops, that's a 3. And try and run that. Ah, that's much nicer. However, I don't like the fact that it's the same color as the wall and they don't stand out so well. So, if I want to go to the wall, and I don't actually want to redraw it, I want to keep the same design, I just want to change one of the colors. We can just double click on brown and let's say dark blue and run that. And now all the walls have changed color, and doesn't that just look so much nicer? Now, say we don't just want orange crates. Maybe we want some sort of other object that we want to push around. Let's just say, for instance, a green crate. So we'll just call it crate green. We'll change orange to green. We'll leave yellow for the highlight. And maybe we'll try something like purple for the shadow. I don't know, bit funky. Then the legend, we've got all these different symbols. So just like we've got zeros, ones, and twos that refer to the different colors and pixels in our object, these symbols on the legend refer to our level. So if we go down to levels, all these hashtags refer to walls. And this is the same level we're looking at here. So you can see this is a hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. See all the hashtags here, they're walls. The dots, if we go back up, so hashtag wall, and the dot is background. So if we go down, all these dots then should be the background. So if we go across, oh yes, we've got 4 squares of the grass, the background. And then the P is the player, and we can see we got the player here, just double checking that, we've got P is player and so on. So all these different symbols, if we look at them on our level, that's they're referring to. So when we customize our level, if we, for whatever reason, made like a whole thing of walls, we'll just see solid hashtags. And then if we ran that, it would just see a level full of hashtags. And you can also press Z and undo what I just did in the level editor, just like it was the game. If we want to create a new object like create green, we can't just run the game now. It'll give us an error because it says it has been defined. In other words, we've created a new object, but has not been assigned to a layer. Now, what does that mean? Well, every time you make a new object, you have to assign it to the legend. Because it's a green crate, we'll just say G for crate green. And then we go down to collision layers. So if you've used Photoshop, the different layers means that you can work on one layer that doesn't affect the others. So similarly, the collision layers means things that are in the same layer by default are considered solid. So because the player, the wall, and the crate are all in the same object, they can't pass through each other. And by default, they collide with each other. The target is on the layer above, and then background's above that. So the thing on the topmost layer is considered what's actually underneath. That's why you can walk on the ground, the background, because it is the top layer. Targets, if you go and look at your level, just turn the level editor on for a second. Targets are on top of the grass, and we can see that's the next layer down. Then this is actually considered the topmost layer, even though it's the bottom line. And that's why the player can walk on top of the background. It can also walk on top of targets. Now, when we create a new object, we've given it a G in the legend. So we'll see G's on this map. Then we have to say which layer do we want it on. So we just go create green. You can also do something else though. Let's say we made another crate, a blue crate. So crate bleh. Now, let's change the colors again. We'll make that blue. We'll make that, you know what, we'll leave the shadow as purple, just for now. And then, because we've made that, we have to do say a B. B equals crate blue. And now we have to put it on the legend again. But that's kind of annoying. Like this collision layer can get really long, and if it gets to the end of the line, it can get messy. So if we want to be a little neater, we can create groups of objects. So we could say a group called crates. We could say crates equals crate, crate green, or crate blue, or crate. So instead of putting all of these different crates down here, we can just go crates, and then it will fix that. And that will actually refer to all of our crates because we've made a group of objects here. Likewise, in our code, you can see how we've got this code for pushing the crate around. Now, really, we should call crate now crate orange. And then you'll see everywhere we've mentioned crate has got is highlighted white because it doesn't exist. So we'll have to quickly rechange them all to crate orange. So now we've got player is next to an orange crate and he pushes it, then, you know, walks into it, then he'll push it. So we could just go crate green and then crate blue. But that's kind of a waste of time typing it out like that. We could just actually go crates. If the player walks towards any of the crates and he's next to them, then the player pushes the crates, and that refers to all of them. So it's a really nice way to simplify our code. So if we click run again and we go back to our level editor, we can now see that our new crates are added to the editor. So we can draw with our green crate, we can draw with our blue crate. So it's now very easy for you if you want to go and make your own crates and different objects. In regards to making objects in all these different colors, there's quite a few different colors to look from. You can find them in the documentation, or you can just go to my blog post in creating objects, and I got a list of all the different colors you can use. Black, white, gray, there's a whole bunch of them, but you can also use what's called hexadecimal colors. The easiest way to find them is I just go color picker in Google, and then you can find this website, or sometimes I go to this website called W3 Schools, and they've got a really nice little color picker here. And then if you want one of these colors, you need to grab what they call the hex code, where it says hashtag, and it's got some random numbers and letters. So if you grab this hashtag, copy that, and go back into your program, let's say we don't want yellow, we want that color. Then if we go run, go back to our level editor, now our blocks have a light blue highlight. It's this special light blue highlight from the color editor. So you don't just have to use the default PuzzleScript colors. You can use any color that's got a hexadecimal code. And that is it on how to create objects in PuzzleScript. Just remember as well, when you create your levels and you save it out, all these symbols refer to your level. So when you copy that into your levels, B is referring to our blue crates. So if you go and run that, there's our level. All these B's are all these blue crates. If you like this tutorial and you want more like it, make sure you click subscribe below, and I'll see you next time.